Welcome on in, everybody. Blitz Betting Podcast, episode number 1. I'm your host, Riggs Tamburo. This is brought to you by the Sports Forum Media Company. Hope you guys are all doing great. No matter where you're watching, we're going to stream this every single week on YouTube and on Spotify podcast. If you're seeing clips somewhere else, make sure to head over to one of those two outlets at the Sports Forum. Subscribe and make sure you never miss anything. Giving away free plays, giving you guys some analysis on some things. Always happy to take recommendations if there's games that you guys want us to cover. This Blitz Betting Sports Podcast will be going down every single Friday at noon Eastern. Just submit those recommendations by Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that, the week before or the week of, and we'll get you guys taken care of. You guys can find Blitz Betting on Instagram at Blitz Sports Bets, as well on Twitter. Once again, guys, at the Sports Forum on Spotify and YouTube for full episodes. And then if you are a sports bettor, got that on the bottom of the screen for you, winnable.com/blitzbetting or blitzbetting.net. Use that code BLITZ for 15% off anything today. But with no further ado, we are jumping straight on in here to our college basketball game of the week. Number 6, Alabama taking on number 5, Tennessee. This is going to be a fun game right here. It's the only game of the day that we're actually going to zoom through pretty quickly because the actual odds on this game are not out yet. Now, we can assume it's going to be a very tight game here. Going to assume that overall a rather higher scoring game as well in the point department. But with that said, who's going to win this basketball game here? For myself, it's pretty simple. It's the Tennessee Volunteers. I really like this basketball team. I will not be surprised if 2 weeks from today, this is the number 1 overall team in the country. Now, they might not actually get there, but I'm telling you right now, if someone wants to have this conversation with you, hey, who's the best team in college basketball right now? Who's a great bet right now outside of the number 1 overall favorite to win the tournament? It's Tennessee. This basketball team is legitimate. And I'll tell you what, they've had Alabama's number in the last 2 meetings. One was on the road, one was at home, and Tennessee got them both times there in 2024. So with that said as well, I really like Tennessee in this game. They are playing the best basketball that they've played all year long. And now here they are against an Alabama team looking to make a statement, looking to push themselves from 5 to maybe 3, try to jump up in those rankings, hope that one of the 1 through 4s falls this week, which I could see happening. So the play in this game, once again, no line out yet in this one, but my assumption is that it's probably going to be either near a pick'em. Alabama will not be favored, either near a pick'em or something like Tennessee -2.5. In that realm, maybe it's a little bit more, but I'm going to go ahead and say I'm taking Tennessee to win this basketball game here, just on every facet of this game, offensively, defensively, even coaching. I like Tennessee in this game. I think they're going to handle business. Give me the Volunteers to go ahead and win this one. That game going down 4 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. So a Saturday play for you guys there. I got one other Saturday play, and then a lot of Friday plays for you coming up here. So college basketball game of the week, number 6 versus number 5. We're taking the Volunteers to get it done over the Crimson Tide. Good luck to everybody there. Over under, once again, I'm leaning over, but I just don't know how high it's going to be. If they magically put this number at like 146.5, you got to take the over in this game. But if they put it at that mid-50s, high 50s number, like 156.5, think you're getting a little bit too high there. So my recommendation is maybe if it's under 150, take the over. Outside of that, stick to the Tennessee Volunteers to handle business. That is our play for our college basketball game of the week. Good luck to all of you in that one. Moving on through, though, we do have NHL on the board, NBA on the board, and our parlay of the week as well. I want to talk some NHL, though, so let's go ahead and jump on into NHL. I also will throw out there, NHL this week, we actually got 2 games for you guys. I know it says game of the week. However, we got a Friday game and a Saturday game. In case you guys don't listen in time, I know, once again, new podcast, episode number 1. So some of you guys are going to be a little bit late to the party. If you missed the Friday play, got a Saturday play for you as well. Now, with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump on over to the Friday game. That is the Dallas Stars taking on the LA Kings. And man, oh man, is this going to be a good game here. You got the Kings coming in a baby dog right now, plus 110 on that money line. Dallas Stars coming in minus 130, playing at home in this one here in Dallas. Now, over under 5.5 goals. I think it's hard to argue that that doesn't make sense here. So we're going to go ahead and pull up the goaltender matchup here in this one, because the goalies is very, very important, folks, when you're betting on hockey. If you're not a big hockey bettor, or if you try to be a big hockey bettor and you just don't tend to win very often, it's probably because you're not looking at goalie matchups. And if you are someone that wins a lot in hockey, it's probably because you pay attention to goaltenders. Now, at the end of the day, am I going to sit here and say that stats are everything? Absolutely not. However, number one thing is, if you see a starter versus a backup, God forbid it's one of the better starters, it's telling, especially let's say that team's on a back-to-back. Let's say that team's on the road on a back-to-back with a backup goaltender against a goalie like Jake Ottinger. That's going to be a recipe and a problem for that hockey team. Now, we did just see the Kings drop that game against the Canucks a couple nights ago. Now, that was on Wednesday night, I want to say. Now, that was an overtime game, and the Kings were right there. They just let it go. But the problem for the Kings is this team plays much, much better when they play at home. Now here they are on the road. You got David Rittich taking the net here. Once again, unconfirmed if you are watching YouTube and not on Spotify. These goalies say unconfirmed, but for all of you just listening, want to let you know that. David Rittich, 11-11-2 on the year, a 2.67 goals allowed on average, 88.4 in the save category, and whopping zero shutouts for him so far this season. Look, David Rittich, the zero is concerning, 88.4%. Look, it's a decent number. When you start to get scared in hockey, it's 87.5 and below. If they get behind that, it's kind of like, okay, I don't trust this guy. If there's power plays, he probably going to let something in. If there's high pressure, if there's breakaways, it's not looking good for that goaltender. So 88.4, is it bad? No. Is it good? No. I don't love it here. And the problem for David Rittich in this game, not only is he on the road against a very disciplined, very passive hockey team, if you would. Passive is a funny word to describe the Stars, but that's kind of how they play. They play very like that. And I do feel that the Stars in this game are going to pretty much just pick apart the Kings. Now, the Kings are a disciplined hockey team as well, just not as disciplined on the road. And that's the problem for them in this one. Jake Ottinger is in the net for the Dallas Stars. Many would argue the top goaltender in the world is Jake Ottinger. Now, you might not agree with that. You might not believe that. That's fine. But you can't say he's not top 3. You really can't. So with that, Jake Ottinger at home. Now, 26-13-2 on the season here for Mr. Ottinger. Goals allowed on average, a 2.47, a 90.8 save percentage, which is crazy because that's actually one of the lowest you're ever going to see Jake Ottinger's numbers on the year. Only one shutout on the year. Listen to that. 26 wins. He hasn't had more than one shutout. That's pretty insane. So where I'm getting at with this is Jake Ottinger is a dog, okay? Is he playing like a top 3 goaltender at this exact moment? Maybe not. Top 5, no doubt about it. However, I do feel that Jake Ottinger in this game is going to have a good one because the Kings are not a team that's known for just firing pucks. This is not the Colorado Avalanche. This is not the Edmonton Oilers. That's not their game plan here. They want to play brutal 2-1, aggressive, 0-0 in a period. That's how the Kings play hockey. And the thing about the Dallas Stars, which makes them so dangerous, is that this hockey team, they can play that way. They got no problem playing that way. Or they can play with the Avalanche and the Oilers and the Minnesota Wild, and they can play the high-scoring kind of hockey. So that's the fear here for the Kings, is that they can only really win this game if it goes one way. The Stars can win this game no matter how it goes. And they're at home, and they have the better goaltender, who really is due to play better than he's already playing right now. I mean, damn near 91% save percentage. That's good in its own right. I don't think the Kings are going to fire more than 20 pucks on that here. Now, could they? Sure. But I think you're going to be looking somewhere in the realm of 26 shots for the Stars, 20 shots for the Kings. You look at the goaltenders, Ottinger gets the lean. You look at who the home team is, the Stars get the lean. You look at who the better offense is, the Stars get the lean. Every single thing in this game to me says Dallas Stars. Now, minus 130 on the money line, you could argue maybe a little bit like, why? Because the Kings are good. And these are two teams that kind of tend to switch off beating each other, and I fully understand. However, I expect this line if this game is in LA. I don't really expect this line in Dallas. I think the Dallas Stars should be closer to, and I won't be surprised either if the line closes closer to minus 145, minus 150. I think minus 130 is the steal. I am grabbing the value. Every single bet that we're giving here, I've actually already put in. So make sure as soon as you guys hear these, you grab the value. Check your sports books, do your due diligence, and always make sure you get the best number possible. 99% of the time we give you guys bets, unless an injury happens or a goalie change happens or something like that, the line's going to get worse than it was when we gave it to you because we're beating the lines early. So once again, we're going to go Dallas Stars to win this hockey game at minus 130. Going to trust Jake Ottinger and the boys in Dallas. Then over under 5.5 goals. Not going to go too far into this one. Here's the thing. Originally, I was all over the under. Under 5.5. Jake Ottinger's in net. Dallas is at home, and they're playing another defensive kind of team. Why would you not go under? I'll tell you the only reason why you wouldn't go under is if you think the Stars are going to pull away here, which they can. I could see this being a 2-2 game, 3-1 game, something like that going into the third period. Stars score, take the 2-goal lead. Maybe they're up at that point, it could just be 4-2 and it's already 4-2 and you got a problem there. Or even it's like 3-2 or something like that. LA pull their goalie with 2 minutes to go. Stars get an empty netter, maybe even two of them, who knows? And all of a sudden the Stars win this 4-2, 5-2, and you see a 3 or 4 goal third period. That is the fear in this game, but I don't care. It's not enough to scare me. I really don't think the Kings are good for much more than 1 goal here. I know Jake Ottinger only has 1 shutout. Will not be shocked if he makes it 2 here after this one. But LA should find the net here 1, maybe 2 times. I like the Stars to score 3 or 4 goals in this one. Give me the Dallas Stars to win minus 130 and the under 5.5 goals in this one here. Good luck to everybody in that one. Now, we are going to move on over here to a Saturday NHL game of the day, if you would, since it says game of the week. But once again, going to give you guys 2 NHL plays on this one here. Let me go ahead and get that goalie matchup for you. Once again, I want you guys to get used to looking at goalie matchups and looking at the numbers and really starting to pay attention to who's the starting goalie, who's the backup goalie. Some of you guys probably see some of these names and you think that a guy's a 1 or a guy's a 2 and you're wrong. And it's not actually that scenario. So you really got to pay attention to goaltenders and you really got to pay attention to back-to-backs. Playing a back-to-back in hockey, man, it's a brutal stretch if you're on the road. So with all that, moving on through here, here's that next goalie matchup for you. Saturday, game of the day in the NHL, the Detroit Red Wings go on the road to take on those Columbus Blue Jackets, 2 teams right here that are fighting to try to make a playoff push. I am going to give you guys a futures bet of the week every single week as well to end the episode. So stay tuned for that one. But Cam Talbot in net here for the Detroit Red Wings. Going to go ahead and blow that up for you. 17, 11, and 3 on the year here for Cam Talbot. 2.85 goals allowed on average. That's kind of high for a guy like Cam Talbot. A 90.5 save percentage and 2 shutouts on the year. If you pay attention, his record's not all that much different than a guy like Ottinger, let's say, for example. But the difference is Jake Ottinger, you would take him any day, twice on Tuesday, before you would take a guy like Talbot. Now, once again, that's really no shade to Talbot. It's just a compliment there to my guy in the green over there in Dallas. But Cam Talbot, good goaltender here. I think he's going to have a good game. However, on the other side, and tough name here to pronounce, Daniil Tarasov in net for the Blue Jackets, 0-0-0 on the year. That's right, folks. Doesn't have a stat yet. Doesn't have a stat yet. Now, here is something that we have to take into consideration. Once again, these goaltenders say unconfirmed. It's a Saturday game, so who knows what's going to happen between now and then. But I will say this. If the Blue Jackets decide to play, I would want the starter, but even their number 2, I would lean towards the Blue Jackets to win this game. And here's the thing. At the moment, I think you can steal this line. Detroit Red Wings are coming in right now at -120. Actually, there's some books, and I'm watching the live stats in live action right now. You can get them as low as -110 right now for the Detroit Red Wings, and that's with Cam Talbot being projected and Tarasov also being projected here. That doesn't make any sense. The Detroit Red Wings are fighting for their lives right now to make the postseason, and they're playing pretty damn good hockey. I want to say they're on a 2-game win streak. I mean, once again, between now and by the time you guys see this, maybe they've lost one, but they should not. So I really do like Cam Talbot to go ahead and get this done with the Red Wings against a brand new goaltender. Give me the Red Wings at -110, -115, even -120, if that's where you find it. But this is a game you got to keep an eye on, because if any goaltenders change here, since I can't talk to you guys again before that, I'm going to go ahead and say stay off of this game. But for right now, Cam Talbot versus Tarasov at this number, I think, Riggs, is it worth putting a bet in right now? Should I take the chance and put a bet in right now? I'm going to say yes, but most of the time when I give you guys a bet, it's 1 unit. Always put 1 unit on it. Your bankroll, you should have 100 units. Put 1 unit on it. This game, I'm going to say put half a unit on it, because I like it as a lean, but I really do like the Blue Jackets. And once again, if they had number 2 versus number 2 or number 1 versus number 1, I would probably take Columbus in this hockey game. So it really comes down to the goaltending. Just another reason why you guys got to look at goaltenders. The fact that the Blue Jackets on some books are in a pick'em with a dude who ain't played before against a relatively hot Red Wings team doesn't really make sense to me. So take the Red Wings with Cam Talbot right now early if you can. Over under 6.5 goals. I mean, I don't want to get into this. I think you guys can assume, though, if the goaltenders remain, take the over, because Tarasov's going to give up 3 to 5. Talbot's probably going to give up 3 or 4. This to me says like Red Wings win 5-3 or Blue Jackets win 4-3 or something like that. It's going to be one of those. Someone's going to get to 4 in this game. Let me go ahead and put it like that. And if they get to 5, if they get to 6, I will not be surprised in any way, shape, or form. The Blue Jackets will also be firing on all cylinders to protect their goaltender here in this one. Good luck to you guys on that Saturday NHL game of the day. Now, moving on over here to our NBA game of the week. And man, oh man, am I looking forward to this one. This is the kind of game, man, that we just live for this kind of game right here. That's right, folks. The Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Boston Celtics. Now, this is a Friday night game, so guys, go ahead and get those bets in as soon as you can for this one here. But Oh, that pesky, pesky Cavs team that just don't seem to go away. Odds makers don't seem to give any credit to. Why? I couldn't tell you. I've been saying it for 3 freaking months at this point that I can't believe people are still not giving Cleveland the credit that they deserve. Sure. Are Boston? Yeah, they're Boston. However, if you guys pay attention, and I've been trying to say this and no one listens, the Boston Celtics, excuse my language, fuck up all the time. And all the time. And I don't just mean at the spread. I mean on the money line. Let's take it back to Wednesday night. What happened on Wednesday night? 5.5 point favorites. Now on the road, 5.5 point favorites. Where were they? The Detroit Pistons? Now, I've made a lot of money on the Pistons this year, and so have the members over at Blitz Betting. So, I'm not going to talk any crap there on the Pistons. But most of you guys, when you think Pistons, you think dog water, garbage team, never put my money on those guys. No way. Well, guess what? They pretty much 20-pieced the Boston Celtics on Wednesday night. So, is there that little bit of like, got to get one back here, got to win a big game against a big opponent? Of course, absolutely. But can they? That is the big question. Let me go ahead and give you guys a couple stats here because I find it to be very, very important for this basketball game. Cleveland Cavaliers, 38, 19, and 1 this season against the spread. Boston Celtics, on the other hand, 25, 33, and 1. 38 and 19, 25 and 33. It's not even comparable how much better the Cavaliers are. Because once again, they don't get respected by the odds makers. Now, Cavaliers 18 and 9 on the road at the spread. 18 and 9. Okay? So they cover twice as much as they don't cover when they play on the road. Boston Celtics at home, 11, and 17. 19 and 8, 11 and 17. Now, here's one more for you, and I don't really take this one into consideration like I do the first two numbers that I gave you, but against the Eastern Conference, Cavaliers, 24 and 15, Boston Celtics, 19 and 22. What do you notice about Boston on all three of their numbers? They're not positive on any of them. They lose all of you money again and again and again and again. And I wish they would show how many times they've been over minus 150 on the money line and lost. I don't have that number for you. I'm going to get it, though, for the next show. Trust. But Boston don't cover, Cleveland do. It's very simple. Look, guys, I understand both these teams are dealing with some injuries right now. Yes. The Boston Celtics in this game, kind of in a need to win right now, need to make a statement right now. Yes. However, is this a game that the Cleveland Cavaliers can win? Ask yourself right now, just based on the numbers that I just gave you, can Cleveland win? Yes. If Cleveland can win and they cover on the road at an 18 and 9 clip and they're 38 and 19 at the spread on the year, why in the world would you go with the team that costs a lot more money to win X amount of dollars and who have again and again and again don't get it done? Oh, and let me go ahead and drop one more nice little reminder for you. Friday night action. What does that tell you, folks? The public is all over this game here. You know what? I'm going to pull up the numbers for you because I can already tell you without even freaking looking at it that the majority of the money is going to be on Boston in this one. Yep. 64% of bets so far. Now, this is early bettors, so I do want to throw out there. A lot of the early bettors are the sharp bettors, are the bettors that know what they're doing. Those guys are taking the Cleveland Cavaliers, such as myself. We are taking the Cleveland Cavaliers to cover the 4.5 points in this game. I will be surprised if this closes anything deeper than 4.5. If they get to like 6, then I miss the value. I don't think it's going to happen unless there's a last minute announcement. I believe this game is going to close around 3, maybe 2.5, but there's enough, respectfully, idiots out there that they don't need to do it any less than that. And if they do, then they're really showing you that that all of a sudden the odds makers are like, oh crap, we made a mistake. We got to make this a shorter line. That's the only way that this thing goes down more. 4.5 points with the Cleveland Cavaliers is a steal. Grab it right now. If you want to take the money line, sure. But I do see a world that Boston find a way to get this done like 119, 117, and they find a way late, sure. But I'm not leaving 4.5 points on the board with a team that has done it for me again and again and again and again. And they're going to do it again. Trust me. We're taking the Cleveland Cavaliers here plus the 4.5. It's where the value is, guys. If Boston make a statement in this one and they win by 20, so be it. But keep betting against the Boston Celtics. You heard it. The proof is in the pudding, whether it's on this game or any game between when I talk to you guys between now and the next show. Just keep fading Boston at the spread. I mean, pay attention. Don't be an idiot. If they're a 14.5 point favorite against somebody, maybe, do your homework. Why are they such a big favorite, right? But majority of the time, my advice is just don't lay it with Boston. Maybe don't lay it against Boston, but don't lay it with them because you can't trust this basketball team. And the numbers are right here. So I'll leave you guys with that one there. Now, the over-under in this game fluctuating quite a bit here. We've been all the way up to 234. 233.5 literally when the show started half an hour ago, but it is now coming down 1.5 points just since we've been on here. And now it's at 232. So the numbers are coming down. And the best part about that is the bets are going up on the over. So we call that a red flag in sports betting. All the money's coming in on one side and the number is going the opposite way. That means that the public is on the wrong number. So most of the public took the over 234. Well, now it's 232. They've missed so much value. They don't know what to do with it. Now, my advice to you, wait for this one. Keep waiting. Over 70% of the money's on the over. I will be surprised if odds makers are dumb enough to let this go below 230. I don't think that's going to happen. But if this number touches 230 flat, you got to take the over here just based on numbers. You need to take the over here. Now, once again, a lot of injuries. Pay attention. I'm sure there's going to be some weird things that change within that 2-hour gap before game time. But I think you can go ahead and confidently take the Cavs plus 4.5 and lean towards the over before you go taking the over, but you got to wait for it. If it's 234, don't take it. If it's 230, 229, I think it's worth a shot there. So keep an eye out, guys. Good luck to you in our NBA game of the week. Once again, we are coming up here in about 90 seconds on that 30-minute episode timer. So with that said, time to jump on over to our Parleezy of the week here. Hope you guys are going to enjoy doing our little parlay of the week. I'm going to go ahead and keep this one relatively simple for you. Let's go ahead and fire off. What do you think? A 3-legger? I like that. Let's go with a 3-legger. We're going to go Detroit Pistons on the money line, plus 110. Oklahoma City Thunder on the money line at minus 450. And the Colorado Avalanche on the money line at minus 185. I want to say these are all Friday picks. There could be a Saturday in there, but Pistons against the Nuggets. Nuggets are on a back-to-back. Everyone's going to take Denver. Take the Pistons in that game. The value is on them, and pretty much nobody is going to do it. So, I like that one. Now, when it comes to the Thunder, they dropped a heartbreaker earlier this week against the Timberwolves in overtime. They choked in the fourth quarter. They gave up like 41 and they scored 19, and then they lost 10-7 in overtime. horrendous loss from the Thunder. They are big favorite again. If they let this one go, I'm going to have some real concerns about the Thunder. I don't think they let this one slip through. Consider that a little bit of juice in the parlay. Pistons money line against the Nuggets, Thunder on the money line, and the Colorado Avalanche. Kaprizov has been dealing with some injuries and everything over there for the Minnesota Wild. Avs are playing good hockey right now. They're coming off a win. They're staying at home in Ball Arena, where they always play much better hockey. And my boy, Blackwood, is in net for them. If he's not in net for them, I don't bet on the Colorado Avalanche. But currently at this moment, he is projected to be in net for them in that game, and I'll be shocked on a Friday night if he's not in net. So there you go, guys. Parlay of the week coming in at plus 275. One more time for you. That is the Detroit Pistons money line plus 110. The Oklahoma City Thunder on the money line at minus 450. And the Colorado Avalanche on the money line at minus 185. Plus 275 on that parlay. Once again, go ahead and fire off that one unit. If you want to do half a unit, that's cool, but never more than a unit unless we tell you specifically. With that said, guys, if you're listening, first of all, appreciate you. We're going to be doing this every week for you, giving those best bets. Always going to make these episodes better for you and everything. Once again, our very first one. So if you guys have recommendations, if there's certain games you want to hear about, big events coming up you want to hear about, let us know. Oh, I do still have to give you the futures bet as well. But before I do that, make sure to check out Blitz Betting once again on Instagram and Twitter at Blitz Sports Bets. Then weekly podcast every Friday at noon Eastern. You can find it a little bit sooner on YouTube sometimes. So go ahead and make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel at The Sports Forum. Also available on Spotify at The Sports Forum. Sports betting prediction articles coming out, sportsforummedia.com. Check that out as well. And then blitzbetting.net for you guys. Use that code BLITZ, 15% off at winnable.com/blitzbetting. It's on the bottom of the screen there for those of you watching. Make sure to take advantage, guys. We're going to get rid of that 15% code here really soon. So take advantage. We've lowered our prices so more people can afford it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Now, our futures bet of the week before I get up out of here is going to be over in the NHL. We are looking at the Atlantic Division in the Eastern Conference. There is a team that we're going to take to make the playoffs. Yes, to make the playoffs, who is not currently projected to do so. That is at plus 105. We're going to take a team that is currently sitting in 5th place in the Atlantic Division. But Riggs, what are you doing? I'm taking the Senators to make the playoffs. They are number 5 right now in the Atlantic Division. They are on a 5-game losing streak. Everything's falling off the wheels. Everybody's fading this hockey team. Trust me, this hockey team has a very favorable schedule coming up. They're actually playing decent hockey. They're just catching a lot of bad breaks. And before that 5-game losing streak, they won another 5 in a row. So they're 5-5 over their last 10. So don't get it twisted there. Also, only a -4 goal differential on the year. It's Ottawa Senators to make the playoffs at plus 105. I'm telling you right now, we're going to look back on this in 2 weeks from now. And we're going to be like, haha, told you, nailed it. Now they've won 5 of their last 6 and they're cruising to the postseason. So keep an eye on that. But until next time, guys, I'm Riggs Tamburo. This is the Blitz Betting Podcast on YouTube and Spotify, powered by our friends over at the Sports Forum. We will catch you guys every single Friday at noon Eastern. And until next time, take care. Do us a favor. Do not bet anything that you cannot afford to lose. And we'll see you in the next one.